Okay, so let's consider the following question from Alex, topic. Using the periodic table to identify similar elements. So which element has a melting point that is most similar to that of indium? So to answer this question, we're going to use the group property of the periodic table. In a way, the periodic table is named poorly because the periods aren't really what are terribly interesting about the periodic table. It's the groups, it's the columns that are more interested, not the rows, not the periods. So I'm going to look for indium in the periodic table, and then I'm going to find among these answer choices aluminum, rubidium, helium, strontium, which one's in the same column. So to do that, I just go to the periodic table, I find indium, there it is, and I need to figure out which one is like closest to this column. So let's go ahead and take a look at that. Our answer choices were aluminum, rubidium, helium, strontium. So here's strontium. It's kind of far away. At least it's a metal. Indium's a metal just like strontium is, but it's pretty far away. Rubidium is also a metal. It's a little bit farther away. Helium is a noble gas, so I mean that thing's going to have a wildly different set of physical properties based on the fact that it's a noble gas. I mean the name kind of gives it away, right? It's going to be a gas. It's not going to be a metal like a solid or a liquid at room temperature. Most metals are solid. Aluminum is in the same column, right? Aluminum and indium actually are in the same column. So I would expect that aluminum and indium would have the closest boiling point. And that's literally all you have to do to get like a guess for which one has the closest melting point or the closest boiling point or whatever using the periodic table. It's a pretty simple process. So you're just going to try to figure out, hey, is anything in the same column? If so, that's the one I'm going to pick. And if not, which one's closest to it? Like, is there anything that's also a metal? Is there anything that's also a non-metal? Okay, is there anything also a noble gas if you're looking at a noble gas? And you would use those sorts of likeness to answer that question. We could ask a very similar question, which is, or I guess related question, which element has a melting point that is the least similar to indium? So yeah, I mean, based on what we did before, everything else was a metal, right? So we had indium over here, everything else was a metal, aluminum or strontium or rubidium, those were all metals, but helium is a noble gas. So we would assume that helium is going to have the least similar or the most different melting point. And that is in fact the answer that you should get. So that's how you use the periodic table to figure out similar properties between elements. And it works pretty well.